govern WhatsApp. Come on. To govern WhatsApp, I want you to understand that you ain't going in no office for no free code. You are being paid. Do not tell me that I, Saeed, have to be grateful for the water I get it. Let me tell you something, Gonzal. Every 4 months, I have to pay $400 and I get water once a bloody month. So don't come on a media briefing and say, Saeed, you have to be contented. You have to be happy. Marvin, the next best thing for you to do is to resign and get the hell out of here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Real Talk with Saieed Ali. I am your host, Saeed. We do want to thank you for joining us tonight, viewers. And just like every other night, we encourage you to share our Facebook page, our YouTube page. So viewers, get on your phone, get on your laptop, get on your desktop, your tablet. Go onto your Facebook account, type in Real Talk with Saieed Ali, like and share. That's all you have to do. On YouTube, Kitty Real Talk. Hit the bell and share it. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, viewers. So remember, viewers, we at Real Talk, we are offering you 4% on fixed deposits. When you open a fixed deposit with Real Talk, you are getting your interest payment up front. So if you open a fixed deposit for 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, 2 years, you're getting your interest up front. Now, if you open a fixed deposit for less than 4 years, you may not get 4%, but you will get a high interest. So viewers, I am proud to say this tonight. Why? Because we are the only financial institution in Trinidad and Tobago is offering you 4% on a fixed deposit. And the good thing about it is that you're getting your interest payment up front. Some of you may say, Saeed, how you could do that? I'm a businessman. I'm into financing almost all my life. So my company, at this stage in the progress that we have earned over the years gone by, and the customers, the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago who have trusted Saeed, we could afford to pay interest up front. We could afford to do that. This is hard times. Everybody need cash. Everybody have a fixed, many people have a fixed deposit in financial institution, but you have to wait out till the fixed deposit mature before you get your interest rate. Now you don't have to wait for it to mature. Once you open a fixed deposit with Real Talk, I'm going to tell you something, is interest payment up front. As long as your check is cleared, we're good to go. Now remember, when you open a fixed deposit with a check, we have to verify and make sure it's not a fraudulent check. We have to do that. So here's the reason why I said, once your check is cleared, trust me, we will get in contact with you. Come, you get in your check of your interest payment up front. Now, like I said, we are the only financial institution in Trinidad and Tobago is doing that. Come and buy shares. Open a savings account. Real Talk Credit Union will be in Caribbean countries up. Even Dubai will be one of our stuff. Like I say, viewers, like I said, I'm in financing all my life. And this is my platform. This is my growth. So I'm encouraging you, the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, to open a savings account, buy shares, Real Talk Credit Union, open a fixed deposit where you can get your interest payment up front. Nobody else is doing that. Nobody. Nobody, absolutely no financial institution is going to pay you your interest up front. No one. Except Real Talk. So viewers, why delay? Why delay? Check your banks. Find out how long you have to wait to draw your interest on your fixed deposit. And if it's not worth it, break it and come. Break it and come. We will give you your interest payment up front. So imagine now if you have a 50,000, a 40,000, a 100,000 in a fixed deposit for 10 years. and you're getting 2%. When you calculate your 10 years and your 2%, what you getting? What you getting? But at real talk, 4% on a 5-year contract. And interest up front, so you don't have to wait 5 years. Your interest up front, only at real talk. Remember that, viewers. So encourage your friends and your family to come along to Real Talk. Get your information. Call my office. Drop our office number. Call my office. Set up an appointment. Come down. Come down. So 239-1670 is my number. 238-6716, it's central number. 267-7325, it's a central number. And 242-7690, it's the south number. So viewers, get in touch with our office, set up an appointment, and come on down. So remember, I'm into spiritual work too. Those of you who have spiritual problems, feel free to contact me at any one of these numbers, viewers. So as we start our program tonight, the new Point 14 fire station is up and running, but its official opening ceremony, carried for yesterday, had to be postponed according to National Security Minister Fitzgerald Hines. The minister blamed the postponement on challenges encountered by Urban Development Corporation of Trinidad and Tobago, UDCOT, in its preparation for the ceremony. Hines said, although the opening of the Point 14 fire station was scheduled, the men and women stationed there have moved in.
Mr. President, I am more than happy to report that although today's ceremonial opening of the Point 14 fire station has been rescheduled, the officer in charge of the men and women who will be stationed there has moved in, and the men and women continue. They began recently the process of moving in, so ready for business the place is. I am advised by UDCOT that due to event logistics, they had to reschedule the ceremonial opening to a short new date, and I, as minister, complied. This was a UDCOT, or this is a UDCOT project.
Now Trinidad and Tobago. Meanwhile, in the Senate, Hines dismissed claims that the station lacked essential equipment. He added that when persons, especially agents, get or go out into the public domain and issue a responsible comment, it traumatizes the society.
When persons, especially agents of officials of the state, go out into the public domain and issue reckless, unfounded, and therefore irresponsible comments, when they appear to derive warped pleasure from spreading bad tidings, rumor mongering, it traumatizes the society.
Sometimes I doesn't understand what this man talking about, you know. If there is a problem in the Point 14 station and the officers decide to highlight the problem, it will go viral. It will go viral. And that will only come from the station and nowhere else. Nowhere else. However, Fire Service Association President Keon Guy also added that the fire station lacks essential equipment. So this is what Hines is talking about. Bad mouthing. It hurt the society. That is what Fitzgerald Hines is saying. It will hurt society. But the association president is telling us that the fire station lacks essential equipment and is relying on the heritage appliance for all response due to the absence of a dedicated TNT fire service ambulance. Now, this is coming from the President Association. He said there are no breathing apparatus set hydraulic rescue equipment, Jaws for life. Now, when they say Jaws for life, it is something like a shears where you can cut open a vehicle. That is the meaning of Jaws for life. He says the ladder is a problem, or portable pump available. Oh, now listen to this. Listen to this.
Even though we have a new station and we are quite happy to see that, the operational readiness of the fire service still remains a sore point for us. We are still under-equipped and as a result unable to deliver on the level of expectation that would be expectations that the 21st century fire service supposed to have for itself and the members of the public have for us as well. Of course, you'd understand that this is quite challenging and increases the time in which we'll be able to offer not only medical assistance, but ensure that persons that might be trapped can be extricated from those vehicles and transported to a place where they can get advanced medical care. So it's not only in the case of the Holmacho sets, but also in the case of ladders and breathing apparatus sets.
So now Trinidad and Tobago, if this is coming from the association president, how could Hines say that the station has everything and is equipped? How could Hines say that? How could Hines dismiss claims that the station lacked nothing? How could he say that? Tell you something. I'll tell you something. Members in cabinet and people in actual sites, you just hear two different things, you know. Hines dismissed claim that the station lacked essential equipment. Imagine that. Imagine that. The president saying that they lack essential equipment. Essential equipment. There is no breathing apparatus set, no hydraulic equipment. But Hines saying the station have everything. Who are we going to believe? The Minister of Hines, who is always in Parliament? Or are we going to believe the President of the Association, who is telling us the station is not equipped? I will go for the individual that is in the station, not Hines. Because Hines will say anything to make sure his department looks good. Looks good. That is what I said. Looks good. Hines is criticizing the opposition for what he described as reckless and irresponsible comment about the new Point 14 fire station. Hines was responding to a question posted by opposition Senator Wade Mark, who based his question on comments made by the president of the Fire Service Association. He on guy that the Point 14 fire station does not have essential equipment. Listen to this.
When persons, especially agents of officials of the state, go out into the public domain and issue reckless, unfounded, and therefore irresponsible comments, when they appear to derive warped pleasure from spreading bad tidings, rumor mongering, it traumatizes the society. It leaves people to feel unprotected and vulnerable, quite unnecessarily. Obviously, the senator is as well traumatized. He's here speaking about contingencies. We open the station tomorrow, and rather than celebrating in Trinidad and Tobago, we are here talking about something that does not exist. I give the assurance, well, the old people would describe that as being a bit previous, but I give the assurance that tomorrow the station would be opened, and all of the fears and unfounded misgivings of the senator and those who inspired him will be laid to rest.
Now, Trinidad and Tobago, Hines also refused to address Mark's questions. Paula, good night.
Good night.
Go right ahead.
I'm watching the program now, and I wanted to say a word or something.
Go right ahead, you're live on television.
Right. Now, all the problems we have in the Trinidad and Tobago thing, right? With all our we and everything and everybody, right? Why we don't get the international rule to start to deal with we?
I understand what you're saying.
You know what I mean? Instead of we arguing and quarreling and you know what I mean? Let me get the international rule like America, like England, like Canada, like somebody to get involved with Binam and Papa.
Now I understand what you're saying, callers, but I will tell you something. It's only those in authority could authorize individuals to come into Trinidad. But I understand what you're saying. Thank you so much. Hines also refused to address my question about whether the Fire Service Association president is lying to the population by spreading propaganda and slam the UNC senator for being misguided. Ooh, this is bacchanal.
The individual to whom the senator made reference is not here to defend himself. We are here in the parliament, and I'm dealing with a question from the senator. He allowed himself to be misguided, as I've described it, disgruntled, crotchety, and complaining about something that does not exist.
Paula, good night.
Good night, Mr. Saeed and all the lovely listeners. Real bacchanal and everything hotter than a chula with the Honorable Terrence. They are saying, boy, we have to change him to be dishonorable. No, I want to talk about them deaths of them baby at that institution called the Port of Spain General Hospital. What I haven't seen there, they have made that hospital what we call a step-down facility now. Nothing working. The boiler not working. And it is a step-down facility. I think everything has gone awry in that facility. And now, I want to make sure that he notarizes his tongue. Anytime he's coming into the public, because he's caught telling untrue with the Children's Hospital in Cuba. It's all over the place now. They have cornered him. I'm going to have a nice night.
Thank you, my friend. So, viewers, we're going for a short commercial break. But when we return, is one more thing I had to ask you. But after this.
When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
Trinidad and Tobago. Now Trinidad and Tobago. Who is lying? Is Hines lying? Or is the President Association lying? Now, ask if the fire station has appropriate equipment for when it opens. The minister advised Mark to drink his porridge when it gets cold and wait for the station to open. Hold on. So Trinidad and Tobago. On a previous story, we heard that the opening of the Point 14 station was rescheduled, but the men and women stationed there have moved in. So now what I want to find out is that when they moved in the station, did they have the proper gears to work with? Or is it that they moved in the station as a rush without proper equipment? According to Fitzgerald Hines, they have all the necessary equipment, and according to the president now, they lack essential equipment. So when Mark asked Hines if the station has appropriate equipment for when it opens, how the hell in God's world and in the parliament, Fitzgerald Hines could tell Mark to drink his porridge when it get cold? What kind of dodo head is that? What kind of lackadaisical minister we have who can't even answer our question and is ducking from it? Is this our Minister of National Security? Is that our Minister of National Security that we have? Is the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago okay with these type of words coming from the Minister of National Security? Keep in mind, Trinidadians, this is the same individual who said it is not his job to make sure all is safe. So I just want to direct this now strongly. Before I say this, I am not a PNM, I am not a UNC, I am not a P, I am not affiliated with no party in Trinidad and Tobago. But I want to ask the people of Trinidad and Tobago, is this the PNM minister you choose to represent earlier? Who don't care about answering a question of the Point Fortin fire station to find out for yourself if the fire station is fully equipped? Is that the type of minister you want to lead you? Or you to lead them? Which one? Keep in mind, all you're paying tax, and it's all your tax-paying money that gives them the comfortable life that they live in. It gives them the life to spit on all you. It gives them the life to muzzle all you. It gives them the life that when I say I am the Minister of National Security, all you cannot say nothing. Keep in mind, you are the citizens. And he is telling all you that. Imagine, Mark asked Hines, is the station equipped with everything? Hines told him to drink his porridge when it gets cold. Is that the answer? Trinidad and Tobago, is that what you want to hear from that minister? How is the people of Point Fortin feeling now? Can the people of Point Fortin depend on the Point Fortin hospital if there's a fire? Caller, good night.
Hi, good night, Saeed. Saeed, I just want to deviate a little bit from the fire station in Point Fortin, and I want to focus a little on the children's hospital.
Not a problem. Go right ahead.
Now, what happened is that you're hearing the blame game between the government and the opposition with regard to the equipment at that hospital.
Correct.
Both the opposition and the government is using the demise or the deaths of these children to score
correct
political points.
Yes.
And the reason why I'm saying this is because in the media, and if you hear they're talking in the parliament and they're talking on the platform, the political platform, the blame game, and they continue to do the blame game.
Correct.
Now, that we have here in Trinidad and Tobago representative from PAGO, they are here to do an investigation, come up with the root cause analysis that what caused the demise or the death of these babies at the hospital. While they're here, I want the media and I want the general population to call upon PAHO and the representative and by extension the Minister of Health, Terence Dial Singh, to ask these people or to demand that these PAHO representatives go into the Cuba Children's Hospital and do an assessment and see if it is that the equipment that the UNC saying that it's there and they're not using, or if the PNM saying that the UNC opened the hospital without any equipment. I want to demand that PAHO representative go inside and do an investigation, do a report, and make the public aware, make the report public, so that the citizen will know who is lying, if the government is lying or the opposition is lying with regard to those equipment that they're saying that is there. We cannot stand idly and let taxpayers' monies just go along the drain without accountability while children, while we are losing lives and limbs. This is really, really ridiculous. So we need to have you and the media people to really put this question and this recommendation to the PAHO representative to do that for us, to bring this into closure.
Thank you, my friend.
Thank you.
Viewers, Just before we wrap up this story, listen to this.
Can I ask the minister to confirm or deny whether his ministry is in a position to state whether the appropriate firefighting equipment and apparatus will be present when the fire service station opens sometime later on this week?
Yes, sir.
As I indicated earlier, Mr. President, the senator was being previous. He must wait. He should drink his porridge cool, sip it. The opening is imminent, in fact, tomorrow. And I give the assurance that his unfounded fears, his frothing, would all be laid to rest tomorrow. Let him be patient. Thank you.
Oh, you look good, you know. Imagine in the parliament you can't answer a question. If you cannot answer a question in the parliament, how you going to answer it outside the parliament? How you going to answer it outside the parliament? Oh, we go wait. We would wait and I would wait. Trinidad and Tobago. 2 weeks after the Northwest Regional Health Authority announced that 7 babies died at the Port of Spain neonatal ICU between April 4th and 9th, the death of 11 other infants have been added to a growing list by attorneys in a class action lawsuit against the health authority. Do you hear that? So the pregnant woman in Trinidad and Tobago, I can imagine the fear that they have within themselves right now. I could imagine the fear. According to attorneys, this now brings the total to 18, the number of babies who reportedly died at the NICU due to the spread of infection. Caller, good night.
Hello, good night, sir.
Go right ahead.
Sir, I'm a retired fire officer. I'd like to make a comment on the topic where you deal with the fire service.
You're a fire officer?
Retired. Sir, this is what happens when you put a mechanic to run a department. The present chief fire officer is nothing more than a mechanic.
Oh.
And he knows only about changing oil.
Oh.
So he does not know about equipment. He has no practical knowledge about firefighting. His entire life was in a mechanic department. Eventually, it's how his family, who has big connections with the government, and he made the chief. And this is what happened. These are results we are seeing.
So, my friend, since you're on the line, let me ask you this question. Is the fire service of Trinidad and Tobago has essential equipment?
No, sir. Not at present, not under this chief. And no form of redress from this chief to bring in new equipment. Only new vehicles.
Only new vehicles they have?
Yes, sir. Only vehicles for the higher ranks.
Okay. Now, could you give us a little insight on the ladders that they purchased?
That ladder is outdated. That ladder is wood ladder. Those ladders were used in the 80s. They have gone obsolete. They are heavy. And with female firefighters on duty now, they have become obsolete.
Wow.
Totally heavy and cumbersome to work with.
Okay, so one more question. These ladders, are these ladders fireproof, or if you lean these ladders on a burning building, it could catch a fire?
These ladders is not suited for today's firefighting. They were suited in the 80s.
Thank you, my friend, and I do appreciate every comment that you made and answer given.
Thank you, sir.
So you see Trinidad and Tobago? Real talk. Real talk. This is why I tell earlier, when I'm in position and you could call in and share knowledge, go ahead. Trinidad and Tobago needs to know what is taking place. Trinidad and Tobago needs to know where taxpaying dollars are going, because it's you and I that contribute to the taxes that runs Trinidad and Tobago. And if the taxpaying dollars is not spent in the proper way, we will not get proper service. Kola, good night.
Good night, Saeed.
Go right ahead, you're live.
Right, calling from Tuna Puna.
Welcome.
Saeed, let me just say this. There was an article sometime last week on the papers by the former head of the ODPM, Dr. Stephen Ramrup. And he made mention of critical positions in this country and appointments by putting square peg in wrong hole, and he outlined a number of things like the health institution, the fire institution, and you name it. Now here it is, this gentleman, a retired fire officer, is telling you who they put where, all because of the political connection. But what I really call this side, what is happening with this thing, with the death of these babies, and the life seems to be perpetrated by the government, because if the opposition, who then built the Kuva hospital, said that there was an intensive care unit there, how the hell that could just disappear overnight? They must have had pictures and things there, when they was commissioning the opening of the building and whatnot. So they would have definite proof of all of that. How could these things just disappear, Saeed? And this thing tantamount to criminal negligence. People ought to face the court, the Minister of Health and Company, the Minister of Finance, the Prime Minister, and all of them. Legal action should be, taken against them, because this is criminal negligence where people have died. Now, I was watching the news, and they say, what is the critical thing, what happened in Tobago, that they have to transport babies from Tobago to Trinidad. Wasn't there a big scandal when they was building the Scarborough Hospital with the landed issue, that materials and whatnot was removed from the government?
Thank you, my friend. I understand, but we're trying to stay focused. But I understand what you're saying. So Trinidad and Tobago, we're going for a commercial break, but when we come back, all I will hear whether the thing is lying or not. And I want you, the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, to understand what we are going to talk about next after this break is your health, my health, and the health of the citizen of Trinidad and Tobago. And you be the judge if Terence Yalsing is the perfect PNM minister for this position. We'll be right back after.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Realtalk Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saeed, Managing Director of Realtalk Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
Do you have a public concern you would like to highlight? You can email your pictures and videos to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com, and we will highlight your concerns on our show for Public Concerns Wednesday.
Now, Trinidad and Tobago, we're talking about health. Health Minister Terence Yalsing lashed out at opposition leader Kamala Prasad Bisasa and other UNC members who claimed that the government's failure to operationalize the Kuva Children's Hospital had resulted in the death of babies. Yalsing previously stated that the Kuva facility is not outfitted with the infrastructure to support specific requirements to assist neonates. Tell you, when I hit it, I just said damn hard, I just said very hard, And I just always have documents and videos to back up. That is why real talk will always be real talk. He added that according to a brief from UDCOT, there is no NICU at the Couva Hospital. Now listen to this.
I have a brief from UDCOT, which says, as far as the Couva Hospital is concerned, there was no NICU. It was a children's hospital. It was a 4-bed special care baby unit for less urgent cases. So I just want to put that out there again, because it is being put out there, and the editorial was correct. As far as the opposition leader is concerned, Couva is the be-all and end-all of the health sector. But there was no NICU according to this brief I just got from UDCOT. There was a special SCBU, which is a special care baby unit. It is for what they call less urgent cases.
Now, Trinidad and Tobago, we heard the Minister of Health, Terence Dialsing. Now, listen to this. However, a video surfaced which shows a woman, Emily Carter, UDCOT's medical engineer, speaking about the NICU, according to Dialsing, at the Couva facility. Now, listen to this.
This is the neonatal intensive care unit. This is where, at the Couva Children's Hospital, we will offer care for our nation's most vulnerable. What you see here is a neonatal incubator. This offers a cocoon-like environment with optimal thermoregulation and protection from external factors. At the Couva Children's Hospital, we have 2 dedicated nursery areas with a centrally located nurse station for optimal monitoring and supervision. Also unique to the hospital are these viewing windows behind me. This is where the relatives of the infant can meet them for the first time.
Where the relatives of infants can meet them for the first time. So you're going to tell me you're going to give birth Port of Spain General Hospital and then they're going to transfer it down to South? Come on, Trinidad and Tobago. Now listen to this. Here's where it gets better. Yesterday, the Minister of Health denied that the video and deemed it as fake. Fake news. So now what we want to know now, is Emily Carter lying? I don't know the answer. You come out and tell me. Is Emily Carter lying? Good. We bypass that.
This is the pediatric waiting area.
Now, Trinidad and Tobago. Now, today, as videos have surfaced, and the health minister word seems to be contradicting, the minister said the information was not fake, but deemed it to be inaccurate. Carter also stated that there is a pediatric waiting area among many other facilities at the Couva Children's Hospital. Now listen to this.
This is the pediatric waiting area in the pediatric outpatient clinic at Couva Children's Hospital. This area was designed to be fun and engaging with age-appropriate furniture to limit the anxiety of the guardians and those in their care. We're now taking you through a part of the pediatric outpatient clinic on the ground floor at the Couva Children's Hospital. This area has 11 examination rooms, which allow facilities for our doctors and nurses to undergo medical outpatient clinics and minor treatment and dressing. Also on
So now Trinidad, who's lying? Who's lying? Who's covering up? Who's saying what? Alia, come on. While baby's dying, is ministers trying to cover up? Alia, come now, man, say something. Say something. Call a good night.
Pleasant good night, my lord. We're going to stay again. We're going to stay again and talk about it.
I couldn't hear you. I couldn't hear you clearly, Prim. Sorry about that. So Trinidad and Tobago, you tell me now. You tell me now. I believe if you go on the UDCOT page, you will see this video. If you go on the UDCOT page, you'll see this video, I believe, right? And now what you say?
From the moment you...
So Trinidad and Tobago, you tell me who is lying. Who is lying? The girl said there is no NICU at Couva Hospital. So why babies dying and parents are in mourning of their loved ones? Is somebody trying to cover up? This is what I'm trying to find out. And this is the issue we having right now. Keep in mind, 18 babies died. And them ain't shut down the ward yet, 18 babies died, and them ain't shut it down as yet. Are you waiting for more? Well, let me tell you something. The more you wait, is the more lawsuit coming against all you. Is the more you wait, the more you open it, is the more lawsuit coming against all you. Let me tell you something. From the time the first and second baby died, the whole world supposed to shut down. Neonates, shut it down. And see about it. See about it. But to date 18, and it's going to climb. So I can only imagine the fear now of the pregnant mothers to be in Trinidad and Tobago. Imagine that. Imagine that. Staying on health. Minister Saieed Ali have stated that the Pan-American Health Organization, PAHU, can include Monday death of another baby at the Port of Spain General Hospital in its investigation of the death of 11 other babies there since the case definitions of the latest death matches the other. But I thought the Alsing said they might have no space for outsiders. They might have no space for nobody else to come in and investigate. You see how the words is twist? You see how the words is twist? Now, PAHU inside. What are they going to say? What are they going to say? If all of you open all your eyes, all your ears, and listen to what's taking place, all of you end up under the white line in the road, knowing nothing. Knowing nothing. The other thing also recognize the voice of the Trinidad and Tobago Medical Association and those more responsible voice who are now adding their weight to this matter. Hold on, Director. All the time they say nobody can come in, we have no space, nobody can come and join the table in investigation. All of a sudden, Terrence tail gone between the leg. The tail gone between the leg and the mouth zip. The tongue can't make noise. The tongue cannot make noise, blah, blah, blah. You can't do that again. I'll listen to this.
President, in discussions through the PS with PAHU on this issue, because I have not inserted myself into the investigation, I did not interfere with it. I am advised that PAHU can include it on 2 counts. 1, time proximity to the original cluster, and 2, if the case definition, the clinical case definition of this case matches those. That is how they may include it. Mr. President, before I take my seat, and I condole with the new family on this, I want to recognize the intelligence of the average man in the street who is not being swayed by irresponsible arguments. I want to also recognize the sober voices like the Trinidad and Tobago Medical Association and those more responsible voices who are now adding their weight to this matter.
You not want to recognize that? 18 goddamn babies died and you not recognize that? You wearing earplugs or something? They are saying, are you wearing earplugs or something? 1 baby's death in a natal ward is too much. 18 of them died and this dog. Trinidad and Tobago. Let's see why it be like this. Or let's see why it be like this. Who you think are fighting for? You, the citizens of our country. You, the citizens. So hear this now. Recently, when KFC had an increase in price, the whole of Trinidad and Tobago voiced their opinion. When Floyd was killed in the US, big marching in Trinidad and Tobago, 18 babies died, and nobody said, Nobody said, See how we is down here? But I, Saieed, will continue on this platform as long as I could, to show you all the real life from the fake life, to show you all what is real and what is fake, to show you all how your ministers in parliament view you as citizens of our country. I love doing what I do. And one thing I could tell you, and I'm very, very bold and brave about this, that I have nobody to walk over me. Nobody. Nobody. Don't take God out of your thought while I stand in for Trinidad and Tobago citizens and feel you could walk over me. Connected to our source. I connected to our source. You don't want to see the good side and the bad side of that. That source, let me tell you something about that. That source will bless you rich. And that same source will put you on a bed, lie down with us and sick for the rest of your life. That is the source I am connected. That's the reason why I could be here bold and brave and demand from every government minister and get things done without going to their office. That is the source I connect. Yea, do I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. Ila anta kariima ziyanta rabahuma rakalela inna zamata. Don't come wrong me. Especially when I stand for the right thing. You know there's a slang that the old people say in Trinidad and Tobago. You could lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. Trust me. When I don't light my light, the horse drinking water. Trust me. Trust me. So viewers, we are going for a short commercial break, but when we come back, we're going to stay on this topic.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Realtalk Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Realtalk Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
Do you have a public concern you would like to highlight? You can email your pictures and videos to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com, and we will highlight your concerns on our show for Public Concerns Wednesday. When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Realtalk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Realtalk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Realtalk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
Trinidad and Tobago, remember viewers, we at Real Talk are offering you 4% on fixed deposit. Remember, when you sign up with us, you are getting your fixed deposit interest up front. Remember that. No other financial institution in Trinidad and Tobago is doing that. Let me tell you something. I am a leader. And in order to be a leader in a company, especially a finance company in Trinidad and Tobago, you have to be strong, you have to be firm, your company have to be solid in order to be a leader. And there are no financial institution in Trinidad and Tobago that is giving you interest up front on your fixed deposit. None. Go to your bank, go to your credit union and find out. Let me tell you something. On top of that, we also meeting and matching any financial institution fixed deposits in Trinidad and Tobago. God have started me on a role to be a leader, and watch me, trust me, Real Talk will be one of the biggest fixed deposit centers in Trinidad and Tobago. Trust me. Now, if there's one thing I don't ask for, and this is to show you how solid, this company is. Imagine we don't even ask nobody to run an ad. This company expanding finance, a financial complex in Guyana, in Grenada, in Barbados, and soon to be in Dubai, because I'm already in talks. So when I come here now, I just come to tell you the things I'm doing, things the company doing, and how solid we are. You feel this credit union is like any other credit union? No, we different. The leader have a vision. The leader have a goal. The leader is stable. The leader is a successful businessman in Trinidad and Tobago. And the leader is not fearful of standing for our country. So that is added on to my portfolio. The leader also got 11 to 13 legislations and amendments passed for Trinidad and Tobago. So when you have persons like these leading, trust me, your investment is properly well secured. We're not like others. I will change the way banking operates in Trinidad and Tobago. Saieed will change the way credit union does business in Trinidad and Tobago. Why? I am a man with a vision. I have 2 financial companies running. 2. We have Real Talk Credit Union, who is open to the entire public. Plus, we have Real Talk Finance and Investment. You're looking for cash borrow, it's not a problem. Contact our office. When the bank blank here, come down and check. As long as you have collateral, you're getting cash. That's how stable. So, staying on our topic, the Al Singh, he said, whilst everyone focused on those who are past, he wanted to thank healthcare workers because they are still bringing life to all those preterm babies. That goes unnoticed. The Al Singh, I'll tell you something. Trinidad and Tobago always acknowledge the good doctors and nurses in our country. Always recognize the good doctors and nurses in the country. But I'll tell you something. You cannot fix something that is already good. You cannot fix something that is already good. What you need to do is to fix what is not good. You can't fix a good car that's running. You cannot fix a good roof that is not leaking. It is already good. It is already good. Now listen to this.
They are bringing a sense of clarity to the issue. And whilst we focus on those who have passed, and we must, I want to thank healthcare workers, doctors, nurses, technicians, lab techs, patient care escorts, security guards, because we still bring to life all those preterm babies, 500 grams and more, that goes unnoticed. And we must, whilst we must recognize that we have one major issue in one ward, in one hospital, the entire healthcare system continues to function because of the dedication of all our professionals. And I think the country should recognize that.
No Trinidad and Tobago. The country recognize that, and as I said, we cannot fix something that is good. We fix something that needs fixing and something that is not working. That is what we fix. At least we're trying to fix. At least my voice on television trying to get it done. Now listen to this, Mark brings another question claiming, in light of confessions of negligence on the part of the minister, but they also declared, I made no confession of negligence. Mark then asked whether further steps would be taken to avoid further trauma and pain to parents. However, the Alsing said Mark's statement ought to be condemned. I'll listen to this.
In light of the confession of negligence on the part of the minister, can I ask...
I made no confession of negligence. I asked for that to be withdrawn.
Mr. President, he is interrupting.
Have a seat. Have a seat. So again, you have a supplemental to ask?
Yes.
Ask the question.
Mr. President, through you, I'd like to ask the following question. Can the Honourable Minister indicate what immediate steps will be taken, given what he has just indicated, to avoid further trauma, pain to parents through what I would like to call the implementation?
Minister, we've got the question, Senator Mark. Minister.
And Mr. President, it is exactly that type of rhetoric that the country is starting to see through as being self-serving and ought to be condemned in the most vigorous manner. As both North Central and myself said when this issue first came to light, Northwest went through above and beyond their usual sanitization cycles to ensure, as far as humanly possible, that there is no reoccurrence. But what is happening now, there is so much misinformation being put out there. And I'll give an example, because it is important that the public knows this.
I think it's just a simple question to answer, It's yes or no. It's just yes or no. Today, 18 babies died. 18. So Trinidad and Tobago, we have come to the end of our program for tonight, but nevertheless, there's a rerun of this program tomorrow from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. And remember viewers, if you want to get the highest interest rate on your fixed deposit in a company that is leading fixed deposit rates in Trinidad and Tobago, don't hesitate to call. Until we meet again,